Welcome back to our channel. Today I'm going to explain a movie called Onward. So, get comfortable. While the message regarding technology is strong, perhaps the strongest sentiment in the film is its take on brotherly love and personal growth. The film revolves around Ian's quest to bring his father, and all of his parts, back to life. The movie is about two brothers, Ian and Barley Lightfoot, go on a journey to discover if there is still magic left out there in order to spend one last day with their father. Along the way, they encounter a manticore, wild sprites, and adventures beyond their imagination. Ultimately, they learn that there are things in the world that are more powerful than magic. In a film, long ago creatures lived freely. But magic was not easy to master, leading to technology replacing it, making life easier for others but reducing the need for magic. But these two brothers go on to find the goal. The film starts in the modern city of New Mushroom Ton. An elf named Ian Lightfoot wakes up on his 16th birthday. He lives with his older fantasy-obsessed brother Barley and their mother Laurel, as well as their pet dragon Blazy. Later, the family is visited by Laurel's centaur boyfriend, Officer Colt Bronco. We find that the boys are uncomfortable with Colt dating their mom and aren't ready to accept him as a father figure. Before going to school, Ian stops to get breakfast and meets another elf named Gaxton. Introduced himself to Ian as he notices the sweater he is wearing belonged to his father, Wilden, whom Ian never got to meet. They went to college together and were good friends. Gaxton was sad to hear about Wilden's passing. Ian then goes to school hoping to fit in and invite some friends to his birthday party, but he has trouble getting out of his shell. At home, Laurel decides it is time for the boys to receive a gift that Wilden had wanted to save until they were both over 16. It's a wizard staff that belonged to Wilden, but not even Laurel knew that he was a wizard or knew how to perform magic. Along with the staff, there is a note from Wilden addressed to his boys, hoping that, while magic has faded from their world, that there may be a little magic in them. He has also left them with a visitation spell, which would bring Wilden back to life for one full day. He also left them with a phoenix gem, which is what can be used for the spell to work. Later, Ian quietly reads the incantation to himself, unknowingly activating the staff. With the gem, Ian completes the incantation and appears to start bringing Wilden back. Barley comes in and is amazed, but Ian can control the staff, and the gem is destroyed before the spell is complete. Barley notes that they only have until the next day's sunset to bring Wilden back or their opportunity is gone forever. Using his knowledge of mythology, he deduces that they must find the legendary manticore in order to find another phoenix gem to complete the spell. Without telling Laurel to not freak her out, the boys ride Guinevere and head off on their quest, bringing Wilden along by putting a jacket and hat over his lower half to not freak people out. After that, the brothers drive into town where they come across the Manticore's Tavern. Once a place for fearless warriors to gather, it has now become a family restaurant, with the Manticore herself, Corey, being reduced to the put-upon manager. Then, the boys ask her for help in finding the gem, but she has put her life of adventure behind her. She does point out the map that would find the gem, but refuses to give it to the boys. In a moment, Ian steps up and convinces Corey to remember her life as a warrior so she can help them. It works too well, as Corey loses it and starts to set the place on fire, destroying the map in the process. After that, Laurel finds that the boys are gone, and she drives by the tavern after seeing first responders there. She overheard Corey mentioning two teenaged elves, knowing she means her sons. Then, Laurel sneaks Corey out of there so she can help find them, as Corey had failed to mention to the boys of a curse that will happen if they try to remove the gem from its resting place. Corey mentions that they need to find her old sword, Curse Crusher, in order to defeat the beast that will awaken to protect the gem. In a moment, the boys run low on gas and must stop. Ian uses his magic to grow a gas canister, but accidentally shrinks Barley. They walk into town to find a gas station, where they encounter a group of aggressive biker sprites. There, Barley tries to talk to Dewdrop, but is angered when Wilden accidentally knocks over their bikes. The boys must flee, with Ian driving the van. Having some bad time, the sprites chase after them on the parkway, but the boys manage to shake them off and head back onto the road for their quest. While having the moment, the boys dance with their father's legs, but are pulled over by Officers Spectre and Gore. There, they conjure a spell to disguise themselves as Colt, but it only works as long as they are telling the truth. However, Ian manages to fool Spectre, but before he leaves, Gore asks Colt about how much of a handful it must be to be a stepfather toward the Lightfoots. When Ian tries to deny feeling the same, one of his disguised limbs is revealed, letting Barley know that Ian does think of him as a screw-up. Later, they flee before the disguise wears off, but the officers contact the real Colt to find out what's going on. After that, Laurel and Corey come across a pawn shop where Corey left her sword. The owner, Grecklin, almost sells the sword back for a decent price until Corey accidentally lets it slip how valuable it really is. When Grecklin raises the price, Corey uses her scorpion tail to incapacitate Grecklin and get the sword. Continuing on their trip, Barley is annoyed with Ian over thinking he's a screw-up, despite Ian trying to convince him that's not the case. As they get closer to their destination, Ian opts to follow the main road, but Barley is convinced that on a quest like this, because the right path to what they seek is not always clearly spelled out, so he opts to take the path of peril to get to Raven's Point fasted. Meanwhile, Colt follows their trail after the van's bumper and license plate falls off. Later, the boys reach Raven's Point and believe the gem lies within the mountains up ahead. First, they have to cross a canyon to lower a bridge for them to get across. There, Barley tells Ian of a spell that will create an invisible bridge for him to get across, but Ian is scared and asks for a rope to hold him in case he falls. While Ian makes it halfway across the invisible bridge before the rope slips off him, Barley lets him keep thinking that he has the rope until he reaches the other side and nearly falls. The matter of convince, Ian panics until Barley assures him that he didn't need the rope. After crossing the bridge, Barley figures that Raven's Point is meant literally and that the gem lies wherever the Raven statue is pointing. Before they can proceed, Colt shows up to try and escort the brothers back home. However, Ian speeds off with the van to evade Colt. Later, his backup arrives and chases after them. The boys reach a block in the path, and Ian tries to use a spell to block the cops from showing up, but it's not strong enough. Then, Barley decides to sacrifice Guinevere by having the van fly into the rock formation and cause it to collapse so the cops are blocked off. The brothers and Wilden proceed to head underground. After that, the three come across a waterfall and a small stone that indicate the gem lies in the water. And then, Ian grows a cheese doodle to use as a boat, and Barley tells Ian that he never got to say goodbye to Wilden. Eventually, they come across a number of booby traps, but ultimately make it back to New Mushroom Ton. Because of that, Ian is upset at Barley for taking them down the wrong path, saying he ruined his chance to meet their dad. Ian walks off and leaves Barley alone. There, Ian sits by himself and looks at a list of things he wanted to do when he met his father. He feels his chances are now gone. While he never had his father, he always had his big brother to look out for him and teach him what he needs to know. Meanwhile, Barley sees the fountain he was trying to protect and sees a spot to fit the stone they previously found, meaning the Phoenix gem was hidden in the fountain the whole time. After he reached there, Barley places the stone inside and finds the gem, but he ends up awakening the cursed beast, who takes form by coming apart from the school's foundation and assuming the form of a dragon. Then, Ian runs toward them with the staff while Laurel and Corey arrive in time to wield the sword. Moreover, Ian utilizes his newly learned spells to fight the dragon while Laurel tries to buy them time to finish the spell. Using the gem and staff, they try to finish bringing Wilden back, but the dragon gets up and starts advancing. After that, Ian uses a lightning spell to blast a hole at the dragon to expose its core, and Laurel throws him the sword so he can use a levitation spell and hurl it toward the core, defeating the beast. From there, Ian watches, barely sharing what little time he has with Wilden before the sun sets. Barley hugs his father, and he is gone once more. Barley goes to Ian, who says that Wilden told him two things. He always thought his wizard name would be Wilden the Whimsical, and that he is proud of who Ian grew up to be, noting that it wouldn't have been without Barley's help. Sometime later, Ian has grown more confident and has made friends. Corey reopens her tavern, which still welcomes families but is more based around an adventurous setting, and also employs the sprites as staff now that they fly again. At the end, the boys accept Colt as a new father figure. Barley gets a new van, which he dubs Guinevere. Ian joins him, and with a levitation spell, they ride off on another quest. So, that was all from the video. Thank you for watching and being part of our family. Just to let you know, we are posting videos every day for you. Please subscribe to give us more motivation, and you will not miss our daily video.